Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jimmy, and today we'll take a look at all of the ways that you can be completely unique when it comes down to your lock screen. Now, there are several things that you can do for your lock screen to make it be you, and in today's video, I'll share everything outside of the world of GoodLock. Now, I am located in the United States, and I am running on Samsung One UI 6.1. Now, the first style of wallpaper that you can use for your lock screen is one that's called Photo Ambient. Now, what this does is it adds in a little bit of flare or raindrops or snowflakes on a custom image that you set for yourself. So rather than going from any of the default wallpapers or one that you download from somewhere else, if you have a beautiful photo you would like to use, but you want to add a little bit of flair to it, you can head inside of your settings, and then as you scroll down, you'll take a look for the advanced features. Inside of advanced features, this is where you go inside of labs, and this is where you have the option for photo ambient wallpaper. Now, once you turn this on, you'll be able to set up your photo, and then it'll put in a little bit of snowflakes or rain or a little sun glare if it's super sunny out. So how you set this up is after you turn it on, you want to press and hold anywhere on your screen that's empty. You go to wallpaper and style, and this is where you go to change wallpapers. And then as you scroll down, you'll see the section here for creative. This is where you have generative, and then the brand new option just added in after you turn it on is called photo ambient. Now, once you go inside of the photo ambient, let's just say that we want to go through and just choose a photo as an example. What will happen is if you hit this little play button, it'll show you what it will look like based on the given weather of where you are. So if it's raining out, it'll look like this on your little lock screen wallpaper. If it's snowing out, it'll look like that. And then if it is actually sunny out, you'll see a little bit of a glare from the sun, and that's what you'll be able to see. So it's a small little video put on top of your little lock screen wallpaper sitting right here. So today was very sunny. There was like a sun glare that kind of came in and came out. But because now it's getting darker out, there is no sun out, that little sun glare is now gone. Style number 2, all you'd have to do again is go anywhere on any of your home screens that's empty. You press and hold. This is where you go to wallpaper and style. Go back inside of change wallpapers, and we're going to go to the one right next to it, which is called generative. Now, as long as you have Samsung One UI 6.1, you should have this option sitting right there just because of all of the AI stuff that was added in. You have 7 different options up here that you can take a look at in a slightly larger of an image, but you have 9 different categories. So if you would like to create your own wallpaper based off of these options, let's say maybe you want to go inside of mineral, and then with this one, you have 2 areas to, again, fully customize it for your own needs, to make it your own, device, your own lock screen. There's so many different options that you can do. So I'm going to choose that option, and you can do it as like cool colors, warm colors, pastel, neutral, pretty much however you would like it to go with. I'm going to go with tonal, and you just go to generate. Now, after it generates, it usually gives you several different options based off of what you chose. So it's not just this one sitting here. You also have this option, you have this option, as well as that. Now, I'm going to go with this image here just because it looks really good. You can choose it if you want it to be lock screen and home screen, or, one or the other, however you want it to go. I'm going to set this one up for the lock screen. So now that we have this one set up for the lock screen, you can hit on done, or you can actually go through here, and this is the very next style of what you can do for lock screens. You can actually go through and you can fully customize how you want your lock screen to now look. So if you are changing your wallpaper, maybe you would like to kind of move these things around, make it make a little bit more sense. So the nice thing with, again, Samsung One UI 6.1 is that you actually have the option to move the time and all these different things that are on the lock screen. Now, beforehand, you weren't really able to make these changes. So with this one, you can either have it kind of show everything, the icons, or none. Now, because I moved this one all the way over, it also moved this down over here. It would be really nice if this one can be separate on its own. So this way, I'd be able to move, let's say, this one over. And if I still want that one to be the middle, that's one area of improvement for Samsung. So we're going to leave this one. Well, let's bring it down just a little bit. So we're going to make it look like this. And then also too, you have these little widgets that's sitting inside of here. So you can add in a widget or even 2. So I have pretty much my battery as well as Samsung Health sitting inside of there, so I can see where I'm sitting when it comes down to the watch or the phone, or if I have my buds and such. So this is where you can fully customize your lock screen with not only the wallpaper, but also everything else sitting inside of here. You can put in some contact info or like a hello message. You also have these icons on the bottom left and the right if you would also like to move, these around if you want them to, maybe be flashlight over here or YouTube over here or be completely different applications. Now, as you go on through this, you are able to swipe through to see what they all look like. And this is, again, the one that I'm going to choose. So here I'm going to hit on done. So if you'd like to see those bigger images of what you were choosing, you are able to swipe left and right. So this is now what my lock screen looks like. Now, before we go on any further with a few other things you can do with the lock screen, I do want to let you know that you can change your color palette. So this way it's complementary of what you're using. So you can see that the background over here is green, and you also have green right up over there. Now, one of the things that you can do is you can press and hold again, go back inside of style and wallpaper or wallpaper and style. You can go inside of color palette. And when you turn this one on, it's going to give you the options based off of your wallpaper colors, or you can use basic colors. Now, here's the thing. Let's say that you already have color palette turned on, and then you went through and you changed the wallpaper of your background. Now, maybe you would like to have your color palette, blend in with it as well. So let's say that we go over and let's choose, we're going to go right back over here. This mineral one is actually a pretty nice one. And I'm going to go through, change just a few things. I'm going to go with this option. And I still do like that tonal option as well. So now that you go through and you would like to change your home screen wallpaper and you would like it to match up or at least have your color palette match up with this one. Let's say that we go inside of home screen. So now this is going to be the home screen itself. Now what you're going to see is that there's a little bit of reds and pinks and whites, but it doesn't really match what I have. So what you would have to do is after you make all of these changes, all you have to do is go inside of your color palette, turn it off, and hit on apply. So now that you've applied it back into its normal stock little look of the color palette, which is basically just all white, what you can do now is you can head right back inside of style and wallpaper, go back inside of the color palette, turn it on, and this is where you can go through and you can actually change it, and usually based off of your wallpaper image. So this is where you're going to have some of those reds come through. You can just choose all these different options, and then now you can just hit on apply. So if you set up a brand new, wallpaper for your regular home screen, what you can do now is then go back in and change your color palette so it can kind of match it a little bit closer. Style number 4, again, we're going to go right back inside of that wallpaper and style. We'll go to change wallpapers, and what you have now is wallpaper services. Now, dynamic lock screen is one that I have used for such a long time. This is actually where I get a lot of my wallpapers. A lot of times people would ask me, Jimmy, where did you get your wallpaper? Can you share your wallpaper with me? They're all just coming from right here. So you can choose art or special or however you would like it, to be chosen. And then what's going to happen is when you have this one set up as your wallpaper, then what it's going to look like is every time you go inside of your lock screen, it's going to change the image every single time. So if this one looks really good, all you'd have to really do is you can press and hold. Then as you kind of swipe down, if this is an image you would like to have, then you're able to do a screenshot. Now going back into the settings of your dynamic lock screen, which again, I've used for several years, and a lot of people always asked where I got my wallpapers. Again, it came from here. You can choose up to 5 categories. There are several different categories you can choose from: landscape, plants, life, dogs, cats, animals, art, food, desserts, and special. Now, once you choose your options, again, if there's any of them you don't want to use, you don't want it to be in the mix, you can take it off, and now every single thing that will show up will come from special. So I'm going to choose this option here just to have, double the amount of wallpapers to show up on every single lock screen. So this is really fun if you would like to have a change up of the wallpapers showing up, and also too, taking a screenshot of any of these that you would still like to have saved to your phone. Now this last style is one that I just got done covering in a past video. It's a dedicated video for it because it's a pretty cool way that Samsung was able to revolutionize the lock screen. I know some people didn't like it. They thought maybe it's a battery drain or just another wasted space of having more shorts and hurting your brain cells. But here's the thing for me, it's called Samsung Highlights, and Samsung Highlights is a standalone application you can download from the Galaxy Store. But also inside of here, there's an option to show it on your lock screen. So what'll happen is you'll be able to see these short form content videos show up before your lock screen comes. So if you basically swipe up, this is where you can get into your phone. Now, here's the thing. Some people were writing comments that it was just a battery drain. It was another way of just losing your brain cells of watching short form content. But here's the thing. This is taking over those other short form contents, at least for me. I am not a big fan of TikTok. I think TikTok is trash. I'm also not a huge fan of Instagram Reels, just because of a lot of the stuff that I watch, I really don't care to watch. This is where I can customize it and curate it for me in the categories that I would like to watch. So if I'm already wanting to watch short form content, I have it right here and it's in the categories that I want. If there are other categories I want to take a look at, I can go through here, tap on it, and now I'm watching that category. But what I did through my settings on the very top was that I put in the 4 categories I would like to watch, which is animals and nature. I have entertainment, news and education, travel, and culture. You can go through and add in whatever different categories you want, and then this way you're not watching something that you really don't care about. It's all underneath here for the For You option. Now, the cool thing again is that this right here is on my lock screen. It's going to come in right before it. And if at any point in time I would like to still watch this video, I can swipe here and I can take a look at it. I can tap here to see where this video came from. And then I can tap here to view more short form content from Animal Planet. Now, again, in terms of the battery drain, it'll only drain if you are watching the content. The timeout on lock screens are very quick. It'll go off and it's as if you normally just had an image sitting there automatically. And most times when you take a look at your lock screen anyways, you take a look at it, you see the time, you see your notifications, and then you just turn it right back off. So it will be a battery drain only if you're actually sitting there and consuming it, which this is taking and replacing those other short form content applications that I am not a fan of. So that's several different ways of setting up your lock screen to make it fully customized for you. Now, on the very last one that I talked about, even if you just maybe like the application, but you don't want the lock screen option, just turn it off. And then anytime you go into the application, now you're watching your short form content and you're not watching TikTok. But hopefully you guys appreciated this video. Hopefully you guys have learned something new maybe from this when it comes down to all of the different wallpapers, all of the different color tones that you can use. Also, if you do change, let's say the wallpaper, you are able to go inside of that color palette, and when you turn it right back on, then you're able to find something that actually matches what you are using or just any colors that you are a fan of. So I'm going to go with this one here, hit apply. But hopefully you guys appreciated this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Subscribe on the very bottom left-hand side. You can see that right over here. And if you like this video, then more than likely you'll also like this video. And I'll see you guys later.